Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Chinezeslife. So in today's video, as you guys can see, or as you can tell from the title rather, because you can't see it yet, but today is Wind Down Wednesday. And when I was thinking of what video I should do this week, I realized that I've never really done a kind of like get to know me, but in a way that it's like kind of like more fun for you guys. And also for me too, because I feel like you guys know the basics, you guys know a lot of things about me. But I kind of decided that I'm gonna do like a kind of random question generator so that these are gonna be the first time that I'm seeing the questions, and then probably I don't even know what to expect. So it'll probably be you guys learning a lot of new things about me. And as always, I hope that you guys are all staying safe during this time. You know, just checking in on family, checking in on friends, and just doing whatever it is that you need to do to stay sane during this time. So like I said, today is Wind Down Wednesday, and today's wine of the week is this sweet red wine from Sutter Home. I've had Sutter Home before, but I think I've only had their white wines. So this will be my first time trying one of their red blends, so I'm excited to try it. I have been looking for like more red wines lately, just because I feel like they do more for me, like I'm getting more bang out of my buck in a sense. This bottle was cheap, it was only like $6.99. It's a 750 milliliter bottle, so you know, that's probably why. But Sutter Home is good, I've heard good things about it. So let's go ahead and pour this cup and then go ahead and get started on these questions. So as you guys know, I always pour an ample amount. So cheers. Okay guys, so if you also want to try this out at home, you know, or try it out with friends or whatever the case may be, if you guys are like on FaceTime or with your family, you know, just to have like a random game night, the website that I went to find this like random question generator basically. So the website that I went to, if you guys want to try this out at home, is randomwordgenerator.com. So I will go ahead and put that down in the description box just so you guys can get to it easier. So the first question, this is actually a good question. I never really thought about this, but the first question is, when you meet someone you're attracted to, what do you first notice about them? Well, this is kind of hard. I feel like, honestly, I feel like it depends on the person, but I feel like I'm someone who's like big on like smiles. So like, I think I just notice like if they're smiling and like what their smile looks like if they look like genuinely happy, or if like, I don't know, I feel like you can kind of like read people. I would say smile, but then like also like their body language. Like I kind of like pick up on body language, so like kind of like seeing them from a distance, just like seeing like if they're like standing up tall, or if they're like slouching, or if like they look like confident, or they look like they're kind of like nervous in a way. I don't know, I feel like I'm able to like easily read like people's body language even if I'm meeting them for the first time. So I would say yeah, body language and a smile, because I love a nice smile. Like someone's smile who just like looks like so infectious, I think that's definitely something that I'm just like, ooh, hold on. What's the craziest or most out of character thing that you've done? I feel like I don't do a lot of crazy things, honestly. Like craziest? Nothing really for craziest, honestly. I feel like most out of character thing that I've done, I do remember I'm someone who doesn't really like, I've never been in a fight in my life basically. I remember one time I was at a college party when I was a freshman. It was a homecoming party, so it's like the biggest party of the year basically. And I'm someone, like, I hate when people touch me, like specifically like guys, like random guys that like have to like walk by you in the club, or like walk by you in the party and like touch all on your waist and like do things like that. So that's already one. So I don't like when random people are touching me. But then two, I believe that like they were like, one of them was trying to dance with me, or like one of them was trying to dance with me, and then someone else was trying to dance with me too. But basically like they were both like trying to like tug on me, and I was just like, what? I started like whipping, like lashing, like trying to get them both off of me at the same time. I would say that's kind of like the most out of character thing in a way, just because I'm literally someone who you'll never see like throwing hands. But in that case, like I literally just had to defend myself, because I literally hate when people touch me. And the fact that it was two people touching me and I don't know either of them, and it literally made me so uncomfortable. Like I literally just started like, this is an interesting question. If you could disinvent one thing, what would it be? So since I can't really think of an object, I'm going to go with standardized testing, specifically like entrance exams, whether that's like the SAT or the ACT or the GRE or the LSAT, like things like that. It's like, I feel like it just causes so much unnecessary stress. Like people will literally like feel like they're dying when they're about to be taking these tests. Like, it just brings upon like so much like stress. And like, I know for me specifically, like the SAT and the ACT, like sometimes you can be a great student but a terrible test taker. And I just feel like basing someone's, like putting so much weight and emphasis on this one test versus looking at what more that person has to offer besides how they're scoring on a test, I think that should be something that just goes away forever. And it's crazy that even with the corona, like a lot of high school students who will be applying to colleges in the fall, like their SAT basically like got waived or whatever the case may be. Like they don't even have to take it. So I'm just like, you see, it's not always necessary. This one is like a no-brainer for me, but have you ever cried at a movie? Yes. I was literally talking about this with my friends today, but I think I cry at like so many things, whether it's like someone just telling me like how important I am to them, or like literally during a movie, or really like being frustrated. Anything can make me cry. Like it literally doesn't take much. First of all, I cried the last time that I watched This Is Us. So the season finale of This Is Us made me cry, but then also the last movie that I watched in theaters was The Photograph, and I believe that I did cry during that. Okay, I like this question. What part of the human face is your favorite? I would say the eyes. Like I feel like you can tell so much about someone when you like literally just like look into their eyes. And even for the OG followers, you guys remember that my screen name or username or whatever you want to call it before was actually Brown Eyed Blues. Like literally, like I think that I've just always been like an eye person. Oh, this is a good one. It says, if you could learn any language fluently, what would it be? Honestly, I truly and wholly wish that I could speak both Igbo and Yoruba. So if I had to choose between the two, I honestly couldn't. I feel like I'd rather know equal parts of both, as I am Nigerian and I am half Igbo and I'm half Yoruba. But I literally don't understand or speak or even can't read like the language, period. And I really do wish that I knew it. I am like learning like little words here and there, but I feel like that's definitely something that I can and should and will in the future take more seriously, because I do want to be able to pass down that culture, especially the language, to my children, my future children one day. The next question is, what is your first memory of being really excited? Honestly, I don't necessarily remember this, but I would say that at least something from my childhood that I was so stoked about was getting a dog. Like, I was literally on a mission to get a dog, and I like petitioned and prayed for years and years, and it finally happened. I finally got a dog. So I definitely remember, or at least have, now that I have like my family videos converted, different things like that, I'm looking back on like the first videos, like bringing him home, and like I was just so happy and just like so excited just to like finally like have a dog, have a little friend to call my own. So I would say getting a dog. I was 10 years old, so oh my gosh, that was 13 years ago. How did we get here? This next question says, if you had the world's attention for 30 seconds, what would you say? I feel like I have to set a timer so that I know how long 30 seconds is. And now I'm trying to think of what I'm gonna say too. Okay, so hey everyone. So I think that it's really important, especially now more than ever, to lean on one another, check on one another, and to just make sure that you know where you're gonna be after everything passes, after these worldly things like come to pass. Just make sure you're getting in tune with God and just praying and seeking more and getting to know him better each and every day. And also just remember to spread love and to show one another what it truly means to be human. Oh, that's more than 30 seconds. Yeah, so I think that my main thing to say would just really be to like spread love and just to like, you know, like realize that these earthly things will fade away, but you know, there's always time to realize that there's life beyond earth, and you know, you should be serious and intentional and live each day as if it was your last, but like literally, because you literally never know when your last day will be. Next question, easy. Do you have tattoos? No, I don't. However, I remember when I was in high school, I wanted to get a Drake quote tatted on me so badly. I feel like when I was in high school, just in general, like everyone was getting tattoos, and like I kind of felt left out. I was like, I want to get something But my mom's rule was that like, oh, like if I'm living in her house, like I'm not getting any tattoos. And I'm thankful that she said that, because if I had come home with that Drake tattoo, and if I had it till this day, I literally would be looking at myself every day like, sis, are you serious? Okay, this is, would you rather keep your current sleep schedule or hibernate for 3 months and have 9 months of 24/7 alertness without being tired? I definitely would want to keep my sleep schedule. I feel like hibernating for 3 months is like weird, and 24/7 alertness, like that just sounds like depressing in a way. Like I want to go to sleep when the rest of the world is sleeping too. Like I'm not trying to be up 24/7, and like to never get tired. I feel like I would be bored. Like I don't need all full 24 hours in a day. Like I actually like going to sleep and then waking up and having a morning routine and then having a nighttime routine to like calm myself and to fall asleep. But to never get tired, I feel like I would literally like go crazy like within like a week, or I would literally be like waiting for the sun to come up, like okay, finally, like a new day. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, I'm not part of 24/7 work Twitter, like nope. When you're 90 years old, what will matter most to you? How old am I now? I'm 23 and it's 2020, so if I'm 93, hold on y'all, I gotta use the calculator. I told y'all, when I'm 90 years old, it'll be the year 2087. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I literally just had to do the math on that, because obviously 100 years old would be 2096. As you guys can see, clearly math was not my strong subject. But I think at 90 years old, what would matter most to me was kind of like, in this life that I've lived, like was I truly able to kind of like be a light and to like actually just like spread love and like spread kindness and like just spread the word of like Christ throughout all my activities? Was I able to be a good friend, a good wife, a good sister? Honestly, just reflecting and like just looking back and knowing that I lived my life to the fullest and that I gave things my all and that I didn't like half-ass like anything. Like I just went like full-fledged and for everything that I wanted to do, you know? I don't want to have any regrets. I wouldn't say that I don't want to have any regrets, but I feel like the most important thing was I just want to be like proud of what I did with the years that I have on this earth, because literally like another day is not guaranteed. So like being able to have an impact on many lives is something that I definitely want to be able to reflect on when I'm that age. As you guys can see, it's time for a refill, so I'm about to go ahead and do that and then continue on with some questions. Wanted the neck copy. The scary part about red wine is that it stains. So on this wine though, it literally tastes like sangria, so there's that. Okay, so this next question is, would you rather be able to copy and paste in real life or undo in real life? I feel like copy and paste, because literally what came to my head when I heard that was like copy and paste in like money or something, or copy and paste like, oh, I like that car, let me copy and paste it. So definitely copy and paste. I feel like undo, it's kind of like, I'm the type of person that if I do make a mistake, like I own up to it always. So I feel like I'd rather be able to just copy and paste things versus undoing things, because I don't know, I feel like that's an unfair advantage. I mean, both are unfair advantages, but I feel like I'd rather get ahead through the copy and paste versus going back and changing the future, if that makes sense. When you are old, what do you think your children will ask you to tell stories about? What? If y'all don't know, I'm about to milk this whole coronavirus thing. Like, I'm about to tell them like mad thing, over exaggerate like everything and be like, yo, I remember when I was your age, or when I was in my 20s, coronavirus happened and we weren't allowed to leave our house for years, and you're grounded this weekend and you're complaining about staying home for 2 days. Like, you don't even know what discipline. Like, I'm already planning out my speeches. So I feel like they'll definitely ask about this coronavirus time. I feel like they'll probably ask about Donald Trump's presidency. It might not be as relevant then, honestly. I feel like they'll ask about let's say 9/11, even though I won't even really be able to tell much about that. Maybe they'll ask about Barack Obama being the first Black president. Hopefully by that time he's not the only Black president, but I feel like that was a pretty monumental thing to live through. Would you rather have unlimited sushi for life or unlimited tacos for life? Guys, I literally love sushi. Like, I can eat sushi every day for the rest of my life and not get tired of it. Okay, maybe every other day and still not get tired of it. but I literally love sushi. Like, tacos don't be hitting sometimes. Like, it's just like, okay, like, especially a lot of the times I feel like they're not really as seasoned as they could be, but I feel like sushi just does what it has to do, and it's just like so minimal, but like so good. And especially with the seaweed, and then when I get my miso soup on the side, I'm clearly like dreaming about sushi right now, so bear with me. If you could paint a picture of any scenery you've seen before, what would you paint? Oh, actually, I think, well, something easy for me to paint would be, I believe it's called Aso Rock, but that's I believe it's near Abuja. It was just a really nice landscape, and like I was just in the car and I was sleeping, and then I had woken up, and when I woke up, I just looked out the back and I just saw this like giant like mound of a rock, and I was just like, whoa. Sheesh, these random questions are getting kind of personal. They said, who are you becoming? I think I'm growing into the woman that I have been destined to be, but I've definitely like been peeling off little layers by layers as the years have gone on. I feel like I definitely didn't used to have like, you know, high confidence or like a high self-esteem. And although like these are things that like may waver or like it's not always the best, I feel like I'm on the type of time where I'm so dedicated and committed to my growth that even though I know that sometimes I may have like bad days, I know that things will get better. And in the past, that's something that I didn't know. I thought that every day was gonna kind of be a bad day. So I think just being able to like actually like know that all the things that I'm setting out for myself are like actually attainable. And again, like just having that confidence in myself and like, you know, like actually becoming closer to God. Like I'm just on a path for greatness, and like actually saying that to myself and like giving myself those positive affirmations, whether it be daily or like as I'm like journaling and like actually just like feeling myself and just like being myself, like the more that I'm actually just able to be vulnerable and just to like live freely without feeling like I have to hide who I truly am, I feel like I'm just becoming a better version of myself. And as you guys can see, I'm literally like getting like emotional, but I feel like that's something that I hid for a long time, like wanting to kind of show the world that I wasn't an emotional person, because I thought that, you know, it made me kind of seem weak or like seem like I could be like taken advantage of. But listen, I got emotions, and that don't mean that you can mess with me. Don't play with me. Okay, this next question is funny because like I didn't even think of like the actual, I guess, definition of it, more so like people. But the question is, what do you think of clowns? So if we're talking about clowns like in the circus, I don't really think anything of them. I was never really like scared of them like growing up or whatever the case may be. But literally when I thought of clowns, I literally immediately like thought of people who can be perceived as clowns. And I feel like honestly, like clowns are funny. Clowns are just people who think they're doing something but they really not, and it's just kind of like, just be real, like don't be a goofball, like just be upfront, don't be a clown. That's what I gotta say about clowns. This says, if you had to work but didn't need the money, what would you choose to do? Definitely just become a full-time world traveler. Like I would still bring my camera along, still be documenting it and whatever the case may be, but it would just be nice to travel without having like any restrictions as to how much of it I could do, versus like creating what I like actually like want to create like all the time. So yeah, I think definitely just becoming like a full-time world traveler would be my go-to job if I didn't have to work. When things break, do you prefer to fix them or to replace them? I feel like when it comes to material things, and even when it comes to relationships, if that's what we want to look at it as well, I feel like it depends on the significance of the item and what it means to me. That's like if I have a pen and I have 50 pens, right? And I can just go buy another pen and it breaks, like I'm not gonna replace that. Like I have 49 other pens. But if my MacBook, God forbid, MacBook, don't you try it. If my MacBook decides to break, like I have to replace that because it's important to me. It's something that I use every day. It's something that I rely on. So same thing with relationships. I feel like if something breaks, whether that be a friendship or a romantic relationship, or it's on the verge of breaking, I feel like if it's truly important to me and it's truly like worth saving in a sense, like I'm all for fixing things, or at least attempting to fix things before replacing it in a sense. Because I'm someone, when I do let people close to me or do let people into my life, like that's important to me. Like it's not just anybody. So I feel like it's always going to be a conversation on like, you know, like let's try to fix this, like what's really going on versus just letting it go. I feel like definitely in my younger years, I probably would have been on the replace flow, because I feel like I didn't value certain relationships as much as I could have, and I wasn't emotionally ready to be in that place to be able to see the value in certain things. Or I just kind of knew in my head that, you know, certain things weren't right, but I was still kind of there. So I feel like as I've grown older, I've like actually cultivated like relationships that kind of like make more sense. So yeah, I'm a fixer. Definitely. If you inherited a private jet from a stranger, what would you do with it? Of course I'm going on vacation, y'all. Y'all already know me. Like I'm flying, first of all, I'm flying, I guess, to well, not right now because we can't fly. But when we can't fly, I'm definitely flying first class, or I guess it's already first class if it's a private jet. But okay, so first I have to hire a pilot, I guess. Second, flying my friends out and we going on a vacation somewhere nice, somewhere warm, all expenses paid, all that. That's a no-brainer. Oh, yikes. This question's about to expose me, y'all. How often do you look at your phone every day? I feel like sometimes you don't notice how much you look at your phone until you start to actually like check how much you look at your phone. And I feel like for me, it's seriously a problem to the point where I have to like throw my phone to a different part of the room and set timers as to when I can look at my phone, or like productivity timers is really the point. But sometimes I just have an urge to check my phone, and don't even be no messages that I'm like looking out for or like waiting on an important email. Like I think I'm just so used to like being in like constant like communication with people that it's kind of like when I see a notification, like I have my notifications turned off, so I think that kind of adds on to it. So I'd say more than the average person, and I'm trying to limit it. So if you have any tips on how you put your phone down and just don't check it, please let me know. This is a good one. It says, if you could change one thing about your upbringing, what would it be? I would say, okay, so the first thing that came to my head, like without even really thinking about it, would be what would my life be like if I actually grew up in New York City, where I was born, which was the Bronx, versus growing up in upstate New York. This is a good one. What is the source of your procrastination? Let's discuss. This sounds like a topic that your therapist would ask you. Honestly, I would say social media, Twitter specifically. Like sometimes like I'll literally just be on Twitter scrolling aimlessly, and in my head I'll know like, nope, you have to get up. You said you're gonna get up 20 minutes ago, you're still on Twitter. But like I'll still just be scrolling, like avoiding what it is that I have to do just because I can. Like I'm like, seriously, sis? So Twitter has definitely been a source. What do people do too much of today? I feel like people have always been judgmental, but I feel like especially now with social media and like just being able to give unwarranted opinions, unwanted opinions, like people are definitely just too harsh, too judgmental for no reason, especially to people that they don't know. And the thing is, when people are behind screens, like they're definitely like having Twitter fingers. Like people would not be this bold, would not say these things, would not talk out the side of their neck if this person was face to face with them. So I feel like definitely like people are just mean and judgy and just mean spirited. That's not good. Oh, what's your least favorite mode of transportation? I would definitely say the bus. I feel like buses just give me like heebie-jeebies. Like I don't like being on there. Like I'm very, very uncomfortable there. Cars, I don't mind. Planes, I don't mind. But buses, for whatever reason, I'm just like, get me off this bus, please. What do you get every time you go grocery shopping? Honestly, it varies. Sometimes it's gum. Sometimes it's wine. Most of the times it's Skinny Pop popcorn. This next question is, what are the qualities you really enjoy in a friend? I would say someone who's a good listener, someone who understands, but also someone who isn't like afraid to correct me when I'm wrong or like to call me out on my BS. Like I feel like that's kind of one of the main important qualities, especially as we get older, because it's nice to like akiki and stuff, but like someone who can like actually like be real with me, be like, listen sis, like you're wrong, like that was wrong of you, especially when you're like telling a story. But it's like, wait, what was the other side though? Like what actually happened? So someone who's willing to tell me the truth about things even when it hurts, and someone who just like knows how to be there for you and just knows how to show up, someone who supports you, because that's what I would do for other people too. So kind of like having someone who's similar to you in that way, it's just like nice to know that someone cares about you and the way that you care about them as well. What are you freakishly bad at? Any type of dance, honestly, like except for like dancing with someone else in a sense, in the case of like whining, I want to say. And even that, like I'm like okay at it, but I'm not like the best. But I would definitely say dancing, like my rhythm is just not there, like I'd be offbeat, all that. It just looks awkward. Like I don't know what happened when God was like sprinkling in all that he was sprinkling in with me, but like he gave like one little drop when it came to dancing, because like literally you could teach me a routine and it might take me a few more weeks than it would take you to learn it, but like when I do finally learn it, it just don't hit the same. So I would definitely say dancing is something that I'm not good at, and I'm okay with admitting that, because I know at this point in my life. When scrolling through social media, do you prefer posts from celebrities or from your best friends? Honestly, my favorite social media is Twitter, and the answer to that question is neither of those. I think I just prefer like seeing funny random tweets. What are you most likely to become famous for? I don't know if I want to become famous, honestly. I feel like that's too much public eye on me, too much scrutiny, too much judgment. Like, I'd just be like over it every day. I would hope for my work, or at least for something that I was able to touch other people's lives with, whether that be like my acts of service or my videos. That's honestly all I care to be known for being frank. Would you rather be able to breathe underwater or have the agility of a cat? I feel like having the agility of a cat would be weird. Like I don't want to just like randomly jump up on something and then everyone's just like, oh. So I feel like having the power to breathe underwater would be pretty cool. I actually do like to swim and to go underwater. Would you rather never be able to express yourself accurately or always have to say the exact truth? I feel like I'd rather say the exact truth, honestly. To never express myself, I feel like would be pretty frustrating, because I am someone who likes to kind of like explain and like discuss like every little thing. So I would kind of be like, it would suck to not be able to express myself, especially to others, especially when you want other people to understand you and you're trying to explain yourself. If you're not able to do so, it might be pretty frustrating. What would be harder for you, to tell someone you love them or that you don't love them back? I feel like it would definitely be saying that I don't love them back, but I feel like I'm someone who's very expressive of showing my love, in a sense that you could probably already tell if I don't necessarily love you back. It's not necessarily hard for me to tell someone that I don't love them back either. I feel like I don't like to lead people. First of all, I don't like to be led on, and in turn, like I don't like to lead people on. So if I'm not feeling something, or if you tell me you love me and I'm literally like, what, like confused, like that's just a clear sign that I'm just gonna be upfront with you and be like, hey, like honestly, like I don't feel the same way. I don't want you to think that this is gonna, you know, go somewhere where it's not. So I feel like it's much harder, but it's not really hard. But if I had to pick one of the two, because me telling someone that I love them, like I think that once I feel something, I feel it. If they don't feel the same way, it is what it is. But you know, I just want to be able to express what it is that I'm feeling at all times. So yeah, if I had to pick one, it would be telling someone that I don't love them. What are you most looking forward to in the next 10 years? So 10 years from now, I'll be 33. I believe, and I'm praying in the next 10 years that I will be married and that I will have at least one child. So I think that is something that I am looking forward to, like career aside, like everything else aside, would definitely just be like being in love and being able to start a family with someone who I love and someone who just cares about me deeply. What are you most likely to stay up all night talking about? Something that I would stay up all night talking about is kind of like trying to work a situation out with someone that I really care for. Like if I'm literally fighting sleep just so that we can both go to bed on like better terms than we had started the call on. I feel like that's something that's important to me, and Even though like obviously you're gonna be tired in the morning, I wouldn't mind losing sleep for someone that I actually like care about and like a conversation that's actually needed to be had. Oh, this next question, what product would you seriously stockpile if you found out they weren't going to sell it anymore? First Aid Beauty face cleanser, because that stuff has kept my face looking like, because right now, I don't know if y'all could peep, but I'm not wearing any makeup right now, minus my lip gloss and my Fenty mascara. But I feel like I owe a lot of that to First Aid Beauty face cleanser, because my skin has literally been on point for years now with them. So if I found out that they were going out of business, like I'm literally buying like 400 bottles. I don't care how long the shelf life is, like I need that to last. All right guys, we're about to go to cup number 3. Describe your life using one word. I would say eventful. Honestly, I feel like there's highs and lows, but all throughout, there's definitely always something happening that will keep you interested. You being me, but me being me. But yeah, I would say eventful is the best way to describe it thus far. Oh, I love this question, guys. It says, what's an ideal Christmas/holiday for you? I feel like my ideal Christmas, okay, well, I'm gonna change it. My ideal Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving is like legit my favorite holiday. And the reason that it's my favorite holiday is because Christmas, although, you know, it's about the birth of Jesus and everything like that, I feel like it's been over commercialized to the point where some people make it about gifts so much more than the actual reason for the season, and then it's just like so over commercialized that like the true essence of it and like the true beauty in it is kind of lost. But I feel like with Thanksgiving, it's more so just about family and like togetherness and like actually being thankful for the things that you do have. So I would love to host like a whole Thanksgiving weekend one year, like have a bunch of like fun and games planned. Hopefully, like I'm like literally thinking like 10 years out. So this is gonna be like hosted at my house, like just have like wine tasting for the adults, have a whole game night with the whole family, like as much family that can come, like just have a whole itinerary of things to do, whether that's everyone just cooking together, just being together, just loving on one another, because you literally never know during those times like when is the next time that everyone is going to be able to be here to be present. And I think that's my main thing, like being present in those moments versus just showing up, like for everyone to just like phones down, like to just enjoy life would be my biggest thing that I would want to have for a future Thanksgiving. And of course the food too. Y'all know I love Thanksgiving. Sometimes I've gained like 4 or 5 pounds in one day because when the food is hitting, it's hitting. You gotta go back for plate 2 and 3, strategize it, plan it out, all that. If your food is bad at a restaurant, would you say something? Yes. In the past, I used to kind of not say anything, but now I'm like, honestly, I'm already a paying customer, and if I'm literally not satisfied, I'm gonna say something. But my thing is like, I never try to like belittle the server, because I know, first of all, it's not even the server that messed up the food, it's the cook. But I'm not about to be like, oh, I want to talk to the cook, like get all angsty, be like, I want to talk to the manager. I just want my food to taste good, and I'm just gonna politely be like, oh, excuse me, like this just isn't what I had ordered, because I know that those types of jobs can be very stressful. And again, like I'm not gonna like talk down on one person's profession or like talk down on them or make them feel bad as a person, because I feel like a lot of the times like people in those positions, like they like tend to like over apologize, and I just be feeling bad. The best part of waking up is, I think, just waking up, like the fact that you woke up and it's another day, even though you may be tired, you may be groggy, you may not want to get out of bed. I think it's just the fact that you've been presented with a new day, new opportunities, and just like another 24 hours to kind of just be like, all right, like what am I gonna do with my day today? Would you leave your hometown forever or stay in your hometown forever? Clearly, as I live in Ohio, you guys can see that I left. If I had the choice, I would still have left. That's not somewhere where I could see myself spending the rest of my life, just because I am someone who wants to live in a warmer climate and somewhere that's more bustling as well. So I definitely couldn't see myself spending the rest of my life there. This next question is, when was the last time that you took some time to be alone? I feel like I take time to be alone pretty often, being that I spend most of my time of the day in my room, especially now that we're quarantined. I still do majority of my work in my room, so like I'm away from my family. But I would say alone as in terms of like putting my phone to the side and like not checking up on anything. I can't really think of the last time, I'm not gonna hold you. So I definitely do need some time to just like unplug and just relax. So I'll definitely plan out. I've been trying to get myself to take a bath recently, but I feel like I'm always just too tired to do so, because when I take a bath, like it's a whole big production, like lights, cameras, not cameras, but lights, wine, my laptop, watching a show, like just de-stressing. And I haven't necessarily had the strength to like wait up and like literally be in a bath. So that's probably something that I'll try to do sometime this week. So for the last question, I'm gonna put the randomizer on just like one question and see what question that I get. What's a common thing that you think about when you're alone? I would honestly say my future and how things will be in the future, especially in terms of like my career path, just different things like that, or like just like trying to over plan ahead versus like actually living in the moment. Kind of when I've gotten those thoughts, I've learned now that I should like pray about it first and foremost, but then also like if it is coming to my mind, like that's a sign that I'm like, you know, like let's start to plan for the future, let's plan ahead. So that's something that I've definitely become more consistent with, like actually just going to God in those moments versus like being like scared or like hesitant or like anxious about the future, which is completely normal, by the way. But instead of like feeding into my fears, I'm more so just like turn to other things or like turn to a solution versus just like dwelling on it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this Wind Down Wednesday. This is kind of different from the content that you guys are used to seeing from me, but I am always happy to share with you guys. And this was also, like I said, definitely like a learning experience for myself, because I definitely learned some things and got asked some questions by myself that I've literally never been asked before. So thank you guys so much for tuning in with me today and watching this video. And make sure to give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And also, I believe that I'd be plugging it in my like most recent videos. But if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, make sure to do so. I recently launched my new personal Instagram that goes all over my lifestyle and travel. And it's pretty similar to this YouTube channel and the type of content that I share. So if you're on Instagram, go ahead and follow me on there. Also, if you're on Twitter, I literally tweet like every single day. So go ahead and follow me on Twitter as well. I feel like those people who like have in their Twitter bio, they're like, oh, follow me for lots of laughs and da-da-da. But I feel like I'm a pretty avid tweeter, I would say. Actually, a few days ago was my like 11-year Twitter anniversary. So I've literally been on there since like 2010. So I'm just like, I'm an OG Twitterer. But anyways, I'm chatting now, so thank you guys so much for tuning in with me today, and I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.